And we are back. G-Mac and Winnie coming at you with another edition of the Outlaw Blitz podcast. Big fella, let's get dangerous.
We are back indeed. Beautiful, beautiful fall week this week it's been.
I didn't see much of it.
You did not, unfortunately. Take my word for it. It's kind of like the whole T-bone steak, the butcher.
Yeah.
But I think we've transitioned finally up here in the Northeast to our fat guy favorite time.
Yeah, I took the AC out of the window yesterday, so I'm official on it.
I think I'll be doing that tomorrow.
Not the bedroom window, just the main window.
You don't want to risk it until like the first week of November because you could get one more fucking stretch.
And then you're dying.
Like 82 in a room with
or even like 68 in rain. It's
with
just
one
muggy.
window, you're just stuck.
Yep.
So, no, I get you, man. I get you. We had an old school trip last night, which was fun to take. Just didn't have the outcome we were hoping for.
Yeah, listen, that's the sport. That's the way the sport is, though. Like,
it's a fact.
One thing leads to another thing to another. Like, I don't come away from there in a full panic. I don't walk out of there and go, there's no way we're gonna ever win that game. I personally think they can beat that team. I think they game planned without So here's how it kind of works. I rather see a team with my own eyes than on film.
I don't disagree with you.
Because you watch on film, it's just film. You can't really judge speed, or size, or you know what I mean. It's just it's film.
Nor can you accurately judge speed against other teams. What they're going to be doing against your team, because your guys move slower or faster. We saw a kid last night that got shot out of a fucking rocket every time it touched the ball.
Yeah.
So.
But you can game plan completely wrong based on not seeing it with your own eyes.
Absolutely, sure.
And I think last night, from 1 week ago to this week, last week everything was quick, out of the quarterback's hand immediately. Last night it was like a lot of this play action one way, turn back the next way, under a lot of pressure. There was no quick hitters. And I think if the quick hitters were there,
right,
that's a completely different game.
Not until too late. I mean, late in the fourth, we saw a couple where it was
even in spurts you saw it.
And here and there. But again, not even talking about the offensive side of the ball, because you had a couple bad interceptions, a strip return for a touchdown.
Yep.
There's 18 points right there. Well, if the extra points were made, I don't remember them all. But
it was 19.
It was 19. Okay. Yeah. Now, let's go to the defensive side of the ball. You're blitzing every play. Your guys are not getting to the quarterback. They're not getting into the backfield and making any stops. Now you're minus 2 players. So now you're playing 9 on 11.
Well, that was the thing. Blitzes work when they get there. And when your main tackler has 0 tackles on the night,
right,
and you blitzed him every single down,
correct,
that should tell you your game plan was not working.
Agreed.
I would immediately go to a 5-man front for the next game, and I would go big.
Sure,
all big.
This is the thing, too.
Because if we go back there, it's a playoff game.
We've coached a lot of football together, and you come out of the box showing blitz. You got fresh player on fresh player. You want to break a team down a little bit. You want to see what they're going to do before you pull that trick out.
Or not stand in the gap you're going to blitz from.
That too.
How about run a twist? How about run,
I said this to Mulvaney while we were sitting there talking, and I honestly don't. I think it's like a lost art. I haven't seen a defensive line stunt in seasons.
For us?
Yeah.
Well, that's just...
I mean, how...
Same group of guys, just in different positions.
How do you take out bigger linemen? You move your defensive line around.
Yeah.
You send one guy across and loop back around. There's so many ways to get creative when you're undersized. Yeah. Take it from a guy who played on a team that was undersized.
Well, we've never had size.
No. That's what...
Yeah, whatever. But, I mean, yeah. overall, though, listen, the trip was awesome.
Right. At the end of the day, we're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
I enjoyed it. I
I
went
did too.
down there. What I did like is a grand majority of the players kept playing
Yes.
and kept their nose in it and kept attacking and kept.
Yes.
But then you do have the culture problem where people that are supposed to be leaders are off talking to their mom
Yeah.
or turned around facing the stands in the second. You know what I mean? Like you never like if I had video of that and I'm the head coach. Guess what's being addressed in the film?
Your ass would be handed to you by previous coaches. You'd be sitting on the bench or you'd be off the team.
Yeah, you're turned around talking, and then you have parents that think it's okay to go down and then have conversations. And I was glad that the one assistant coach told him to get the hell off the
Addressed
sideline.
it.
Yeah,
Addressed it.
yeah. But no, a beautiful ride down. We had the
Yeah.
sunroof open. It was a gorgeous fall day. Never got really chilly. It was like in the 50s, but it wasn't. It was a little damp.
Right.
It wasn't like you were freezing.
No.
I was surprised you didn't have the towel on your neck.
I will be prepared for Dover, I promise.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's probably too early to get. Nah, we could probably get the forecast, but whatever.
Still 7 days out, but
Yeah,
it's going to be chilly. I know that.
yeah. I mean, we're getting
And to
into
me,
late
it's always
October
been like a
now.
luck thing too.
Yeah, and we're getting into late October, so
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any cable knit sweaters to wear,
yeah.
so I'll have to break out the towel again.
The first time I saw you break out the towel, it snowed while we were playing.
Yes, it did.
That was a snow game.
It sure did.
So what else been going on?
That's really it. You had a shittier week than I did.
Oh boy, did I! I am fucking shot. When you get, we live in a world where we can have mandated hours for our career,
Right.
and I had it 3 out of 4 days,
You got cornholed.
and all night. So when you're working 16-hour shifts and 16-hour shifts, and then I got lucky, only worked a 12-hour shift.
Right.
By the time the end of the week rolled around, I was just completely exhausted.
Well, that's funny when you consider that lucky.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right.
So
You're 100% right. That is wild when you consider that lucky. Yeah.
Let's get on to some fun stuff
All right.
here. Where did we come up with this one? This was
driving
on the fly.
home from the game last night. We were going to shoot a podcast, and then
Right.
we just kind of were BSing, and instead of shooting it, we're like, "Yo, we'll just do it tomorrow morning," and we came up with the thing.
Yeah.
But this episode's kind of been on hold in a way,
Right.
because it's the 14th now. We lost our video last week, so we lost about 500
Yeah.
listeners, and it was a no fault of our own.
Right.
Well, not listeners, but like, people that listen, but they listen via Facebook or YouTube or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
So now this week we're back on video, but
Yeah.
we paused this episode kind of because by the time it comes out, it'll be closer to Halloween.
Correct.
So, but then we were coming up with this on the fly last night.
Yeah, I think it just came down to BSing with Boston there, talking about
Oh, it was the pig guy.
the streamer queso and
Yeah, that was what it was.
Yeah.
All right. This week's top 5, the top 5 social media influencers.
And there's a lot of them.
Oh, there sure is, and it depends on what you consider a social media influencer.
Correct. I can tell you straight up, most of mine are YouTubers because I do spend a lot of time.
You do a
on
lot of YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
Mine's of variation.
Okay.
But I'll start. Number 5, Mandy Pouch. Mandy Pouch, her dad was a legendary dirt modified driver. He won a World of Outlaws sprint car race at Syracuse, which a lot of people, you probably that listen might only know like NASCAR or whatnot, but Syracuse was a dirt mile up at the fairgrounds of Syracuse.
Yep.
And people from all over the world would come and try to win that race. But with the World of Outlaws, he won it like as a privateer, which is crazy. But anyway, she has her own YouTube channel called Dirt Track Untold. She's married to a professional race car driver now that runs dirt modifieds. So it literally is a moving vlog of their life and her dad's a legendary driver. Her brother's a racer. her husband's a racer, and now her little nephew's racing. So it's really wild to follow like what their life really is weekly.
Yeah. Are they privateers as well? Or are they sponsored?
No, they're sponsored, but not like they're not high dollar team like
Right.
that. You know what I mean?
Right. And, for seeing, very little that I've seen about going down to Middletown, you see some sponsors, but you don't get, a lot of these guys or gals don't get full car sponsorship.
No,
They're getting a little bit to cover this stuff, but they got to come out of pocket for the rest.
Right. You might have a shock sponsor or a fuel sponsor,
Right.
but like all the other stuff's your motor with your stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
You don't see Budweiser on every car.
No. And even that, I bet you it doesn't cover nearly as much as what people think.
Right. All right. My number 5, Guga, it's Gustavo Tosta, a.k.a. Guga.
Is that the Google Foods guy?
It is the
I
Google
know you
Foods
always
guy.
talk about him. I've never seen him.
Yeah, he's got 3 channels, Guga Foods. Another one, I think, is just Guga TV and Subi Everything. So we started off with the Subi Everything, which is a way of cooking. You put stuff in a sealed bag, and you put the bag in temperate water, usually 100 to 200 degrees, depending upon what you're cooking. Cooks things more evenly. He's done it with steaks. That was his big thing. And you take the steak out, you throw it on and get a good char on it, and it creates really tender stuff. But the other channel where he gets creative is like he got it big into dry aging.
Okay.
And it's been all the rage in steakhouses now for the last couple of years.
Yep.
And he'll coat. He's done stuff where he's coated like 4-bone rib roasts in Nutella and put it in a dry ager for a month.
Yep.
And come back, you scrape it off, and you see how it alters the taste of the steak and stuff like that. And his nephew's buddy's on. They're hysterical to watch. You see a lot of good things. I've tried some recipes off the show. He makes it interesting.
I just hope it wasn't any garlic wings.
Did not make garlic wings. Did make a compound butter.
Yeah, ain't garlic wings, buddy.
I did make a garlic butter compound when I was down in Myrtle that I learned from his show to put on some steaks that my dad made on the old, what the hell's that flat top? The Blackstone.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
All right, my number 4, Dave Portnoy.
I really thought, honestly, I forgot to put him on there. He's our boy.
And well, here's the bigger thing with him, really. I'm trying to get this volume on this fucking headset just right. It was too loud a minute ago now. The thing with him is I would kind of put all of Barstool under that because I like Frank the Tank going nuts every time something doesn't go exactly right. He threw a ball. He's taking his glasses off and betting them. But Dave with the pizza reviews, the BFF podcast, I like that. He's just like the way he runs his company in general. Like he bought the company back. He shows up. It's 9 a.m. Nobody's there. He's like, where the fuck is everybody?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like he is kind of like the king of like the social media. Like he did branding really well.
Right.
Like and they're behind. It's kind of like a real life The Office.
They just had their first ever one bite pizza
thing, yeah.
Like
and the weather really sucked for it,
Yeah.
but they sold out. Like I had tickets right, but I'm like, football. I'm not messing with it. But yeah, Dave Portnoy overall. I mean, his pizza reviews, if you added them all together, got to be in the probably hundreds of millions.
Oh, absolutely. And how many businesses profited during COVID
because of him? Yeah. So that was my number 4.
All right, mine is Jenna Bandy. She is a social media influencer on YouTube. She's got TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff too. But she was a college athlete, played basketball, turned college coach. But she's really made her mark in the YouTuber influencing world. She's a super athletic chick. Her brother was a catcher for the Diamondbacks, Jet Bandy. Doesn't hurt that she is an absolute dime piece.
I was gonna say she's a smoke show.
She's
from what
total
you
smoke
told
show.
me.
But she goes to she got into some NFL flag games last year, and she was putting moves on NFL play. I mean, she's just a super athlete on top of everything else.
Right.
She's really elevated her brand by getting in, starting out on the local level playing hoop with other YouTubers to now she's involved in NFL flag stuff. She's going to NBA games.
Right.
She's really elevating herself that way. And again, fun to watch.
Cool. My number 3, Nikki Cass. He's the guy that he pretends he's like a dad one time. He's like an Italian kid, and he plays the neighbor. He puts a thing in his shirt and he looks out the shirt. It's like, Diane, you look at this fucking kid in the backyard. He's like, holy shit, he's got the Stanley Cup. He's got the actual Stanley Cup. I know that guy. Have you ever seen him?
I haven't seen him. No.
I think you have, and you probably don't realize that you have. I've sent a few of them to you. He always does this. How dads talk. How you doing? Hey. Last week he had a good one. He goes, how every bagel guy talks. Hey buddy, what's it gonna be? Yo, Gino. Hey man, good to see you. Yeah. It's on point. He's really good. Nicky Cass, he's a TikToker, but it's on Instagram and other stuff too.
Yeah.
He did a really funny one about how when the Italian makes the big leagues.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, Uncle Vito, you see him? He's up. He's like, yo, I see him. And then the brother's like, yo.
That's awesome.
Yeah, if you check him out. I bet you'll start following him.
It sounds from things you said, I probably have seen him.
Yeah.
My number 3, Tristan Jazz, T-Jazz. You've probably seen him too. Kid, it's about 5'10", head of hair like Boston's, honestly, big blonde curls. YouTuber, basketball player. Another one that he got out of high school. He was a D1 commit, and it was his dream to play Division I college basketball until he became viral on YouTube for trick shots.
Okay.
And he started raking in the cash and decided to give up the D1 scholarship for the YouTube life. And for him, financially, it's been an absolute success. But now he's also playing in charity games with other NBA players. He goes to Division I colleges and runs fives with the starters and the teams and all that. Playing in men's leagues with former pros. He's a content man. He's putting stuff out, 2 or 3 times a week, and has been doing it all with a brain tumor.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. He lets you along a little bit when he goes for testing and he's monitoring and stuff. So he's got a lot of stuff going on privately, but it doesn't affect what he's doing. He's got a great positive attitude. He's fun to watch. The kid, for 5 foot whatever, limitless range. He's like Steph Curry. He comes across,
shoots from everywhere,
bang, nailing shit.
It's probably because he was a small kid when he was like 4, 5, 6 years old, just firing it.
He's used to
at a full size hoop.
And you're used to playing against bigger kids. His handles, he's got a crazy dribble.
You're a big basketball guy.
For the YouTubers, I am. The pros, I stopped watching. Me and Johnny Hi-Hat were talking about the other day. I can't watch the NBA. I don't like today's game like that.
Yeah.
But T-Jazz is fun to watch.
Oh, and that's what he's at, T-Jazz?
T-Jazz, T-J-A-S-S, T-Jazz.
T-Jazz, okay. My number 2, Sean Ryan. Sean Ryan has a podcast. You see a lot of cut-ups on TikTok. He's a former Navy SEAL, former CIA op. The guy, he has a very methodical kind of questioning. When he speaks to people, he'll say like, like he gets you like real down. He's like, so when you were in Benghazi and there was just the 4 of you shooting, what set that off? Like, he's very calming, but I'd imagine if you've been a Navy SEAL and you've been a CIA op and you've been in these big heavy moments,
right?
That this, you know what I mean? That you know how to center yourself and kind of get the most out of people. You know what I mean? You don't get amped up. But he's my kind of like real world type, go-to spot. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of comedy in here and there's a lot of fun in here, but he's a guy that kind of keeps it real. Like you would say maybe, there's some high level guys, but he's like that guy that really has insider type.
He's done it.
He's done it.
Yeah.
Like Joe Rogan's Joe Rogan, but Joe Rogan interviews these guys.
Right.
He is that guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and he's got a very good method to how he interviews, and I like it. So
cool. It sounds like a lot like the concept of being from the world and interviewing other people in the world. Michael Francese, he does a lot of the mob stuff because he was a mobster.
Right.
That's got to be good for the interviewee too, because you're not talking to some schmuck.
No, you got guys that got inside info, and they
Right.
know, like when they say, cleared hot, they know
He knows
it's
what he's
not just a
talking about.
term. It means like, like the segments
Right.
of holy shit, this happened. So then these dominoes happen. This
Right.
isn't sitting behind a PlayStation. This is real world shit.
Legit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And somebody else that's actually been through it. So
Yeah. No, that's awesome. My number 2, I used to not like the guy, and he grew on me like moss on a stone. Eric Sim, King of Juco.
oh, that fucking guy.
Yeah, he's fucking hysterical. Him when he paired up with Trevor Bauer when Bauer was going through his suspension.
And by the way, look how that turned out.
Innocent on all charges.
Yeah.
And,
And then when he just released the thing last week.
Yeah.
With that girl, how much money am I going to take from him? Blah blah blah. Yeah, this was a fucking money grab.
Right. And shame on Major League Baseball.
Yeah, because they blacklisted the kid.
Right. Who was coming off a Cy Young season.
Right.
And going into his age 30 year. But he went to Japan. He had one rough start where he got bombed.
Yeah.
And then came back and threw sub-3 baseball the rest of the year, 100 miles an hour, doing whichever.
And how do you not give him a shot?
Exactly.
Right.
But him and Sim together are hysterical. Sim's a former pro player. He made it to middle minors. But now he's 34, pudgy, still trying to go along and do everything. But he's great for the game. He goes along and he goes to a lot of high schools, colleges, semi-pro teams, and gets them a lot of exposure.
Oh, he definitely does.
Yep.
Yeah. I saw a guy throw at his head like on the first pitch, and then he goes, "Oh," and then threw a breaking ball, like because he challenges people like to one-on-ones.
He does.
Yeah,
and he can still break.
Yeah,
he has his moments where he gets in there. But
did you see him versus the
that's
college softball pitcher?
Oh, she
smoked him.
Yeah,
he had no chance,
none whatsoever.
And that, you know what, that gives respect to those girls batting from that short of a distance.
Right,
how quick your hand-eyes got to be.
Right, it says 70 miles an hour, but from 45 feet.
Yeah, it's like 105.
Right. Yeah. Try turning on it.
Yeah.
And he does dumb shit. And the other is he's got his page, and then he's in this group called Momentum.
Yep.
Him and a bunch of other baseball YouTubers, and they'll do funny things. Create your own catching equipment. Create your own bat. He uses concrete for everything.
Yeah.
So try swinging a concrete bat. I think it shattered the first swing, and he almost dislocated his shoulder swinging it.
Oh my god!
He had catcher's gear. The chest protectors made of concrete. Couldn't move.
No.
Cleats made of concrete. It was, dumb shit. He's a one-man comedy show on top of being able to really talk about and play the game.
Do you find it funny, like when you're like, man, I used to not be able to stand this guy.
Right.
You like your hatred from him just kind of turned.
Yeah, because he doesn't take himself seriously.
Yeah.
And that's what I really learned. At first, I'm like, man, he's just a cocky dick. And then you watch him and Bauer interact. And Bauer brought out the best in him. He brought out the best in Bauer.
Right.
And they just became fun to watch. Now, they went over to, the whole crew went to Japan. And he took batting practice. They all took batting practice against one of the pitchers on Bauer's team.
Yep.
Couldn't fucking touch the guy.
Yeah.
None of them could touch the guy.
Yeah.
So he was only throwing like 91. But for whatever reason.
Yeah, but over there, they throw to miss bats.
And their breaking stuff is disgusting.
Right.
Yeah.
And the reason it doesn't translate over here is because we have pitch counts.
Right.
Like, they don't care if it's 3-2 or 3-1.
No, and
they throw to miss bats.
40 pitches. Yeah. 160 pitches, don't matter. But, Eric
that was your number 2?
Yeah, Sim's fun to watch.
All right. My number 1, Pat McAfee.
That's our boy.
Is that yours or no?
It's not.
Okay, so
but related.
WWE, College Game Day, TikTok, his show, his own personal show.
Yeah.
He's everywhere right now. He's got an energy that, I mean, like, you think about it. College Game Day wanted no part of him to be like an associate guy every once in a while. A couple of years ago, and now he's the main seat.
Think about that.
Like it world goes around him.
He Eric Sim them. He grew on them to where.
Well, he's
money.
White hot.
He's money.
He's white hot.
No matter what he touches.
And his skits, not skits, but his cut ups on TikTok from his show.
I watched
because
Prom.
Usually they used to say fuck and this and that, everything, and now he's on
ESPN.
ESPN.
Yeah.
Well, no, only them 2 hours on ESPN.
Right.
And he's got coaches on there cursing. He's like, whoa! He goes, it's not even me.
Listen, he's done some really downer. His interview with Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
who doesn't do interviews.
Right. Well, that must show you like what kind of a personality he has.
Right.
Because people gravitate towards him.
Right.
Did you see the Mr. Pfizer thing that Aaron Rodgers let go on his show?
Awesome.
Right. Like,
awesome.
But that's what Pat has. Pat has that ability. Like, well, I have said this before, where he's like the Howard Stern of sports talk.
Right. Right.
Howard Stern had that ability back in the day to get people to talk about like dumb shit, like sex and fucking weird shit.
Yeah.
Pat has that ability to get people to talk freely.
Very
like
freely.
You like opens up to them.
Right.
You know, and that's awesome for anybody. Like
Right.
you want people to be their truest self when they speak.
Like
to
a lot
you.
of people didn't know Vince McMahon's backstory, that his father left at a young age, and his mother lived in a
and
trailer.
then he lived in a
North
trailer with
Carolina.
no money and all that shit. Yeah.
And he got all that out, and he got Vince. Vince choked up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, he's excellent in what he does, and he's loyal.
Right, 100%.
His guys are his
I've
guys.
sent you that video. Now you got to think about this. This is before we started. I think.
Right.
I sent you that video where he took $500,000 in a
warehouse.
backpack.
Yeah.
And went to each of their doors and broke it up to them. He said, "Hey, listen."
Yeah.
And they had a shit like they probably a little tiny studio, and they worked into this nice big, whatever.
It's cool. Who was it? Was it Lesnar that came in and ended
Broke
up
his
fucking up the microphone?
Yeah.
He sat down and launched something up into the
ceiling?
rafters. Yeah.
yeah.
He was a great interview too.
Yeah. And there another guy that doesn't open up,
Right.
opens up for Pat.
Yep.
So that's why Pat's my number one guy.
Yeah. My number one, like them or hate them, they're undeniable. Logan and Jake Paul.
That's your number one. You
No.
watch them all the time?
I've grown to like Logan Paul because of WWE.
Yeah.
The kid's a phenomenal athlete. Jake is too. They're shit talkers. They are what they are.
Yeah.
But they are promoters.
Yeah, like that Impossible. Is that his?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they have good guests. They have it's just a matter of like it's all kind of like Page 6 shit though.
With that, it is.
But that they're performers.
Right. And the fact that at their ages, where I don't think are they both below 30 still? Or just right around 30? But they dude, you can't walk into a store and not see Prime Energy.
Oh, and it's good shit too.
And it's good
There's
shit.
one in my fridge.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. They just know how to market themselves. They got themselves over. They started at a young age. Listen, how many people can go from literally being a YouTuber to talking enough shit and backing it up to get themselves in the ring with the people that these guys have fought?
Well, I know.
On both sides of sports entertainment and regular fighting.
Yeah.
And they get in the ring and they both get in the ring and do a good job. Now, can you say with Jake Paul,
McAfee's a better wrestler?
I don't know, man.
I do.
Oh.
Well, he did the swanton bomb off the fucking top of the cage.
He did, but you got to see.
No, Jake Paul. I mean, Logan Paul.
Logan Paul and Ricochet.
Yeah, I saw that.
Ridiculous.
The one at WrestleMania, right?
Yeah. How do you?
Well, like when he would take the phone camera, like the shit he does. I get it.
Right. Crown Jewel against Roman Reigns. People thought, how the hell are you going to sell a main event with a kid who's had 2 matches? And that match was 45 minutes and could have gone another half an hour and would have been just as interesting.
It was entertaining the whole time.
Super entertaining the whole
time.
So, hard to say. Like I said, hard to knock the hustle.
Yeah.
Those kids know how to do it.
Yeah, well, and that's it. Most of these people here, it's their hustle.
It is.
It's hustle, and that's where it shows if you just put in the effort that things come about.
Right. How many times do you think all of these guys were told no at some point?
Oh, all the time.
All the time.
Until it was relentless, and you said, "I can't." Now I have to.
Right.
I have to tune into these guys.
Right.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. You have to work until they can't say no.
Exactly.
All right, let's move right on along then.
All right.
All right, 5 crazy questions sponsored by Scalable Computers, presented by GMAC. Number 1, how do you order your steak?
Now, medium well.
What are you, a fucking psychopath?
I used to be a rare as a kid, and now I just go, I don't know, I was going more towards the medium well. My burgers are well done.
Okay, so when you're cooking a steak at home on your grill,
Right.
what do you do to it? What do you do to it? What do you put on it? What do you?
It depends on the cut. If it's a good steak, it's just going to be learn from Guga, salt, pepper, garlic powder. If it's a tougher cut, I'll marinate it. Like wishbone zesty Italian's a good marinade. I've made my own marinades too. Throw it in there.
Are you an A1 guy?
I like A1.
To me, steak is just steak, and you
Right.
put some salt on it. I do salt, pepper, garlic,
And again, I'm not putting A1 on a fillet,
but
but on a
I
regular chuck
just
steak.
just salt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't put anything on steaks. Even onion anymore. Like I used to like some fried onions on it, but like
Right.
if you go to like Texas Roadhouse or something,
Yeah.
they smother it with like 700 pounds of onion.
Onions, peppers.
I don't
mushrooms.
need nothing like that. Like a little, but
Right.
not like that much.
Yeah, it depends. Like to me, it depends on the cut. If it's a T-bone or a New York strip, I want to enjoy the steak. It's a good quality steak.
All right. Number 2, if you were a ninth grader today, what career path would you choose?
Wow. Probably announcing.
Announcing or like
sports
announcer
commentary.
or like what do they call that? Something else though. Of course, it's gonna go out of my head. I said it to you the other day. I'm like, are you when we were talking about you retiring?
Yeah, you said sportscasting or public address,
Broadcasting.
Yeah.
A broadcasting major.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
That would make sense. Because here's the thing, though: is it going to still be around? Like this is broadcasting is one of those timeless things,
Right.
Because like newspapers, you're kind of seeing them go away a little bit.
Yeah.
But broadcasting, somebody's always going to broadcast the game.
Exactly. Yeah, somebody's got to call the action.
Right. Yeah. All right. Cool.
And I think me personally, I probably gravitate towards radio.
You got a face for it.
I sure do.
All right. Number 3. What movie do you think has potential to be a blockbuster if they just recast it? Like, have you watched a movie that you think's really good that might be underappreciated because it's got, with a better cast, it would be a lot better.
Okay, I've had a hard on for this movie. They've tried it twice now, and it sucked twice, and only because I'm a huge fan since childhood. Fantastic Four. Marvel has killed it with every other movie they've done so far, yet they cannot get the casting right on Fantastic Four. So I think properly casted, relaunch it one more time, and I think one's in the works.
How would you cast it?
Oh boy. Well, it's funny because the original Human Torch is now Captain America.
Yeah.
Right. They've moved on. Who would I put in the roles?
Yeah. It doesn't have to be all the roles, but just like
for like
what would be the power? Like, and here's the thing: it doesn't always necessarily have to be star power.
Right.
Who would be the right person to play whatever role?
Right. I honestly, a John Cena playing the Thing, because he's a bigger dude compared to the average actor.
Right.
His snarky wit, his commentary, that's Thing's character. If you've read the comic books, he would fit really well into that.
Okay.
Reed Richards, it's got to be like a more brainy, tall, slender guy. I'd have to think.
I'm just saying, like, but so it would be Fantastic Four.
Yeah, it would be Fantastic Four
because they fucked it up
so
numerous
bad
times before.
Twice. Yeah.
Now, is there any movies that you think are really good, but because they don't have mainstream people in them, that it didn't go over as good as you thought? Like we see a lot of movies on like Prime or Hulu,
right? And
then you go, why wasn't this mainstream? This was a great fucking movie. Why wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. So you're talking like B-level films or
what? Yeah, like sometimes it's considered a B-level film, but it's a really good movie. It just doesn't have, the star power to make it what it should be.
Make it what it should be. I gotcha. Man, not really prepared for that one.
Remember that Peanut Butter Falcon movie?
Yeah,
I mean it had Shia LaBeouf, but
right.
That movie, I think, is one of those movies that should be like a mainstream movie.
It was that good.
It was that good, and it was just like a budget type COVID film, right, or something.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah,
more or less. Now, on the other side of that, are there any blockbusters that were 30 years old, 40 years old that you love to see recast with the current new cast. Like when they redid Ocean's 11,
Yeah.
they brought in Clooney.
I mean, if they could do it, and it would be impossible, I would think, to do it, The Outsiders.
Okay.
Because those guys were not famous at the
Right.
time. And every one of them went on to like something big.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I would.
And it still exists in today's world, the concept of The Outsiders.
Right.
It's just a little, it's not 60s.
I would love to see, and people will shoot me for this. I would love to see The Godfather redone with Al Pacino as Don Corleone, reprising Marlon Brando's role, and then recast everything down.
Well, we've talked about this before, and I agree. And when you said that, I just said that I thought about this. I've said this before. I'd like to see Police Academy now with Mahoney as Commandant Mahoney, and then Lassard's grandson be the new Mahoney.
That would be wild.
That would be cool. Yeah. And that I could recast that right now. Like The Rock would be Hightower.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like you could go through and you could do it. Like Kevin Hart would be, like Michael Winslow.
Yeah. Scott Burke would be Tackleberry.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you could literally recast that movie now.
110%.
But I would want the originals
in there.
But Mahoney to be Commandant Mahoney.
Yeah, that would be a really good one.
Yeah.
Could you? Unfortunately, you can't. It wouldn't work because of his condition. But if Michael J. Fox was healthy, could you see a reboot with Doc Brown having a?
There's certain movies you can't touch.
I don't say redoing it, but I'm saying Doc Brown has had an illegitimate child you never knew about. He came back.
Well, no, he has kids. Jules and Verne.
He does?
Yeah. They even had a cartoon where his kids were always getting in mischief.
Really?
Yes.
I don't remember that. Wow.
Yeah. At the very end of Back to the Future, the series of movies, he comes with Clara, and their kids, Jules and Verne.
Shit, I didn't remember that. Wow, okay.
And he hands Marty the picture of the two of them by the clock tower.
That's awesome.
And then he takes off in the train.
Oh, well, that was the Western one.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yep.
All right. Number 4. In a candy trade war, what candy do you keep no matter what, and what candy do you give away no matter what?
Oh man. Keep. You're gonna laugh because, well, maybe you won't because it's just not a very mainstream or popular candy bar anymore. Zagnut.
Okay.
Love Zagnuts. Always keep them because it's coconut peanut butter. Give away. Wow. Probably plain M&Ms.
Really?
Yeah, I like the peanut. I think you can take the plain ones.
Anything coconut for me. What's that? A Mounds or an Almond Joy or something?
Both of them have coconut.
Yeah, anything with coconut is always being given away.
Okay.
And I would always keep probably like a Tootsie Roll or like peanut butter cups. There's so many of them in my lifetime.
I could get old, and I was almost going to say Reese's because I've had them so many, and they're one of the things where the 2-pack is enough.
Yeah, and anymore like you eat the pumpkin once, and then they have the pumpkin or the Easter or whatever, and then I'm good anymore. Like I used to eat them by the box full,
right? And
maybe Kit Kats.
Kit Kats are good,
especially the little fun size ones. Yes. You know what I mean? So. Yep. They would be my candies.
Okay.
All right, number 5. Would you rather sleep in the basement of a haunted house?
Uh-oh.
And I let you have like a partner.
Okay.
Like somebody that stay there with you for the night. Or sleep in a cemetery for one night alone. A haunted cemetery alone.
Or in the basement of a haunted house with somebody.
Yeah.
Huh.
The problem I have with the cemetery is you might not just be haunted with fucking, you can have some bums come in there and rob you in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that's true too. I'm thinking of the Barclay Heights Cemetery. I'm like, oh, I could do it there.
Christ, you probably fell asleep drunk there for a few times,
The haunted house.
Or a haunted cemetery.
Probably the haunted cemetery.
Alone for one night.
I think so.
Because in reality, you're probably going, all these people are dead.
I'm outdoors for one.
Yeah.
And I think the feeling of being trapped in would be as bad as it being haunted.
Right. Like you could vacate the premises on a fucking cemetery.
Yeah, now this
Yeah.
brings me to a conversation I had with somebody this week. Have you ever had a recurring dream
Yes.
that you've had since you were a kid and you
Yep.
still have?
Yep.
Uh, buddy at work, Dave Basden.
Yep.
We were talking about dreams, and he's had one since he was a kid where he lives in a haunted house with his family, and it's a huge haunted house, unlimited. Doesn't know how many stories it is, because in his dream he can never get past the third floor. He gets to the third floor and it's so haunted it drives him back downstairs.
Maybe that's how he died years ago.
I don't know. You never know.
Previous life or whatever.
But that's weird.
All right, and we usually only do 5, but I
bonus?
came up with a bonus one today.
Okay.
Is Halloween prom for weirdos and ugly people?
It very well can be. I would say for weirdos, yes.
Like, you ever see people that just get fucking nuts for Halloween?
Yeah.
Like, I get it. You want to dress up, you want to have a good time, but some people go over the top like it's a fucking prom.
Correct.
Like, their costumes always got to be to, like, every extent.
Super elaborate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it right? It's like
You're
prom
right.
for weirdos and ugly people.
You're right. You are absolutely right.
And then for, like, the slutty chick that's really kind of portrays herself as being proper, always comes with, like, the dirty cop outfit or something. You know what I mean?
The cocktail waitress.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, they present to you that they're not this, and then a Halloween, all of a sudden, their tits are out.
Yeah,
you're like, what is happening over here?
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. In a way, it almost lets people become who they really are.
Yeah, in a way.
You know what I mean? Because they're hiding behind the costume, or
right?
Behind the
today I
mask.
can dress like this because it's okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
So
we'll go to we're gonna go to our crime and punishment next. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
All right, crime and punishment. It's been quite a while since we did it. This is the Halloween edition.
Okay.
So remind some of the listeners how it works. This is for Halloween.
Right.
You list the crime, and then you list the terrible punishment that goes with that crime.
Right. And the crimes are...
And they're usually painful.
And it's usually like a crime against humanity or your patience.
Yeah, it's usually almost like pet peeves that get really worked on here.
Right, absolutely. And I will gladly start.
Okay.
All right, number 1. People who give fruit or loose change to trick-or-treaters.
Okay.
Have you ever gone and somebody's put a handful of pennies?
Yes.
Or an apple?
Yes.
All right. So you return to their house later on at about 3 a.m. the same night with a musket packed with candy corn and fucking fire away at the front door. Just straight like bird shot.
All right. So this wasn't my number 1, but since it's right in tune with yours, this will be my number 1.
Yeah.
My number 1, handing out pennies to trick-or-treaters. That's the crime. The punishment, Arolis Chapman fires a handful of pennies at your back from 10 feet away.
That works too. I mean, his control's been off lately. Hopefully, you can fucking dial it in.
Yeah, but it'd be like bird shot all over your back,
that's what
bro.
I'm saying. I'm taking out windows with fucking bags of candy corn. Fuck
All right.
you.
Number 2.
Parents who do almost costumes for their kids.
You cocksucker. It's like we're on the same brainwave here.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
He's kind of like the Joker.
Yeah.
Kind of like Batman. Give the poor kids extra candy to sugar them up, and as they walk away, launch a drone and drop bags of running dog shit on the parents' heads.
Oh. My number 2. Making your kids wear a shitty homemade costume because you're cheap. That's the crime. Yeah. Punishment, the IRS freezes all of your accounts and you must live like a vagrant for a week.
They might be used to it if that's the fucking account. I mean, if that's the Halloween.
No, it's usually the people that have the money, the cheap fucks.
Right, don't want to bother.
Oh, we'll just stitch this together, Johnny. Yeah. Put a little mark on your face.
You can be a ghost. Here's your sheet.
Yeah, yep.
Oh, number 3. Non-speaking trick-or-treaters. The kids that just show up in your front fucking step and they just look at you.
And they're usually about 17.
Right. Not saying shit. Just with that creepy fucking... Yeah. When they turn around to leave, You have a heavy gauge fishing line rig so you can pull it fucking tight and trip them and watch them launch off the board into the front
And lose
lawn.
all the candy they had.
Whatever they got, gone. Yard sales. Fuck them.
All right, my number 3. Towns that cancel trick-or-treating. Like when you want to cancel trick-or-treating for the entire town. Punishment. Immediately, you are shipped 50 buses loaded with Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh, man. Trick or treat now, motherfucker.
Yeah. Hey, we can have trick-or-treating, or...
You could have been giving out candy, and now you're getting fucking pencils. Enjoy. Yeah. Check to talk about the word of God.
Yes, yeah.
Fuck. That's bad.
That's a good one, right?
It is. You send them all to the mayor's house because
Yeah.
he's the one that canceled.
Yep.
Number 4, people who get too cute with their costume. What I mean is they pick some fucking obscure person that nobody knows.
Yeah.
That's why, I'm J. Edgar Hoover. Shut the fuck
Okay, do your
up.
punishment.
My punishment is tell them in no uncertain terms how fucking stupid their costume is and either cock or oyster kick them. Depending upon guy or girl.
The clam kick or or the cock punch.
Yep.
So this is along those lines, but so when I used to have my house in Mount Marion, I would give out full-size candy bars to the best costumes.
Right.
Well, this little girl comes up and this is along your lines, but reverse in a way. This little girl comes up and she's got like striped pants on and a shirt and a guitar on her back and a cardigan sweater, and she's got like blonde bangs hanging over her, and she comes up and I take like 2 handfuls of candy bars and I dump them in her bag and I go, that is the best Kurt Cobain costume I ever got. And the kid's eyes lit up and she was like, and relief. She's like, oh my God. And her mom's like, thank you. Nobody knew who she was.
Right.
She was identical to Kurt Cobain.
Right.
It you would have thought this was like a mini Kurt Cobain.
I'll let Kurt Cobain rock.
Everybody nobody got it.
Right. I'll let Kurt Cobain rock.
They thought she was like a drifter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's Kurt Cobain. Her mom's like, so her mom turns back. She's like, you have no idea how much you made her night.
That's awesome.
Like, because somebody got it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'll let that rock because it's a famous musician.
Right. And for a kid that young to figure it out.
Right. But if you showed up
when you're just a fucking dude in a suit, like how do I know
who are you? I'm Jordan Belfort. You're a fucking idiot. Get off my porch.
Right.
Yeah. Number 5.
Wait.
You got your 4?
Yeah, number 4. I was just saying about the little.
Oh, okay.
Number 4. Handing out healthy treats because you're a doctor or a dentist. Punishment. You have holes drilled in your teeth by Jason Voorhees with no Novocaine and a hand drill.
Oh, man.
Now, there you prick. Hand out candies once a week.
Yeah.
You want to hand out a toothbrush with it? Fine.
Don't give me the sugar-free stuff that's going to make me shit blood for 3 days either. Give me real fucking candy.
Yeah. Right.
Number 5. Dollar store candy. People give it out. The no-name shit. Return to the residence and pour dollar store sugar in their gas tanks.
That would be terrible.
Yeah.
Driving halfway to work in your car, just it's done.
Yep.
Good. That's a good one. All right, number 5. This was my son decided this one last night because I said I left 5 open purposefully to ask him. Like, we have an opinion of it, but we're fucking 47 years old.
Right.
He's only 15. I want to know like what happens. He goes, number 5, handing out pretzels instead of candy, and his punishment for that, John Cena's the next one to ring your doorbell, and he ties you into a fucking pretzel.
I like pretzels, but I know what he's saying.
Yeah, but you get there and you get like some shitty hand-packed bag with pretzels in it.
It's an Anderson pretzel bag with 4 stale pretzels in it.
Yeah. It's like chewing fucking cardboard, bro.
Oh, that's awful. Yeah, you're right.
Crime and punishment. I always love crime and punishment.
They are. The light against sick and sadistic and creative.
Yep. All right. Where are we up to now? We are up to your favorite song. We have done before. Over and Under, sponsored by Budget Blinds of East Greenbush. This says via Winnie. It's via GMAC.
All right.
I thought you were going to do them, but when you were ill-prepared, I didn't.
Okay.
Number 1, Halloween.
Underrated. Always a fun time. I
will say underrated for one night. The rest of the time, when people try and make it weeks and a month long,
No, it's a one night thing.
It's a one night thing. Decorate your yard, whatever. That's fine, but I don't want to be at a Halloween party this week, and then one next week, and one the week after, and then they're going into November.
Right.
Nope.
Right.
One night or one weekend, the weekend of Halloween, whatever. But
I always had fun Halloweens. I'd say 9th grade on, Danielle Petraeus would always throw a party because her parents' house is haunted.
Yeah.
So
allegedly. You want to sleep in the basement?
No, their basement's fucking creepy. No, Big Rock used to make wine down there.
He sure did. Good wine too. We got absolutely fucking hammered at your house on that wine one night.
Yes. We always had good sleepover parties there, so they were fun. And then later on, taking the kids out was always a good time.
Yeah. Warm Halloweens don't feel right.
Snowy Halloweens don't feel right.
No. What year we got a blizzard the night before?
Yep.
All right, number 2, candy apples.
I prefer caramel apple.
Me too, with no nuts on it.
No nothing on it, just plain caramel apples.
Yep.
I don't like the lollipop-ish ones.
Candy apple, I don't mind if it's a thin coating. It's when it's like super thick and you can't get your teeth through it.
You can't crack through it. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
If you can figure out how to put it on there very thin so that like you can easily get through it,
I'll say
they're
underrated.
really good. Underrated seasonally.
Seasonally.
I'm not at the fair trying to get a candy apple.
I
want it
like July.
No, I want it in the fall.
Yep.
These are all kind of fall related.
I agree.
All right, number 3, flannel.
Underrated.
Yeah?
Yeah, the older I've gotten, the more I've come to appreciate like flannel sheets.
No, I meant like red and black lumberjack with the hat to match.
Carly loves the red and black flannel. I've gotten her a lot of different things over the years. I do like it.
I'm a big overrated. It's like everybody, all of a sudden October hits and everybody's got to wear red and black flannel. That was shit that you used to make fun of.
Yeah, I guess.
You used to go, you fucking hill jack jerk off. What are you, the brawny guy? And now all of a sudden everybody's wearing it.
It is super popular now. Yes.
And it's Han Solo season right now too.
It is.
Where women wear the high boots, jeans, white long sleeve with a vest.
Yeah.
It's Han Solo season. All right, number 4, roasted pumpkin seeds.
Way overrated.
Yeah, I mean, if you make your own and you can salt them up good, you can season them up good, they're okay.
The
But
problem with me is
you don't really eat them.
They're so fucking flat that they're hard to crack with your teeth.
But the seed in them's
they're not that good.
They're not good.
No. Sunflower seeds are way better.
Yeah. All right, and last but not least, trick-or-treating in the fucking mall.
Oh, man. You know what? When I
was going to say trunk-or-treating, but I mean,
never did it, but I never did it personally when I was a kid. But on Halloween's where it was fucking pouring out, it was a big save.
Yeah, that's overrated.
I didn't mind it.
I think that's highly overrated.
Now, another place I trick-or-treated when Chris was little was the town of Woodstock, which was fun because it's fucking Freakville anyway.
Yeah.
And we went up and down. He was in a stroller. That's how young he was. Yeah. And all the stores gave stuff out. So that was kind of like being outdoor trick-or-treating, but...
No, that's not in a mall.
No, it's not a mall.
I'm saying like when you used to, people would go to the Hudson Valley Mall.
Yeah, no, I've done it. We did it.
That is bullshit. That is overrated as it comes. The idea is to go up to different people's houses. And there was a guy in Mount Marion that would say, hey, Merry Christmas. Another guy would say, Happy Thanksgiving, and gave Boston a box of stovetop one day.
What the fuck?
Like, he always had this wild shit. And Boston, we used to love going there as a kid because he was like, what do you think I'm going to get this year from this guy?
Totally random.
Dude,
weird
he got
shit.
stovetop one year.
That's funny.
Another year, I think he said Happy Easter, and he gave him like a fucking hard-boiled egg that was colored.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? It was like, but that's what made it unique.
Right.
But when you go to the mall, everybody's just handing you the same fucking Charms blow pops.
Did you ever get a trick and not a treat?
Probably not.
I mean, either.
I mean, a trick is probably like the town pedophile.
What's the
you know what I mean?
Outside? Oh God, Jesus, that's horrible.
Is it not? Though?
It's true though. It's true. I'm not even gonna say the name on air. I'll say it off air.
Yeah. What's the one?
Weirdest thing you ever got? Not counting pennies, not counting apples or bag pretzels.
People that would give you pencils.
I never got a pencil.
Like, remember back in the 80s, the scented pencils?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they were cool, but they didn't sharpen for shit.
No.
You're like, wow, I got a pencil.
Shit. You sharpen it and you're down to the fucking eraser metal.
Nah, probably.
It never sharpens.
I got a rock.
What?
It's fucking Charlie Brown, dickhead.
Oh,
I got a candy. I got a this. I got a rock. you know?
that's great.
Yeah, probably like a pencil. What was yours?
It was a fucking pack of trading cards.
Oh, like a pack of cards.
Right, but it was of bands of the world. And I don't mean like fucking U2 and Rolling Stones. It was literally marching bands of the world.
Oh, that was probably a band director.
It was fucking horrible. They went right in the garbage.
Yeah. Well, did you ever hear the story about Troy Aikman when he was like, I don't know if he was a rook. He wasn't a rookie. I think it was when he first won a Super Bowl.
Okay.
He got home for practice and forgot it was Halloween. And kids came up to his house and he had no idea. He was like, I don't know. So he just started autographing cards and giving them to
That's
everybody.
awesome.
And in his neighborhood, and he didn't get a lot of kids that year. He said the next year he went and bought all kinds of candy and people were coming up.
One autograph.
But yeah, thinking they were getting an autographed Troy Aikman card. He goes, man. He goes, I had no idea.
Oh,
He goes, the next year, like 10 times the amount of kids came and they were all disappointed. I was handing out full-size candy bars. He goes,
I was like, oh man, really?
What the hell?
You signed my Snickers then?
Yeah.
That's fun. What was your favorite costume that you ever wore?
I think my favorite was probably, I lived in Tennessee. I went as the Scarecrow. Jen was the Wicked Witch of the East. Jern was Dorothy, and Summer was Glenda.
Okay.
We went like as a family, dressed up, and I've never done anything like that. My favorite all time as a kid, I kind of went as like a ghetto version of Oscar the Grouch.
Okay.
I had like a makeshift garbage can with a lid on it, but what was awesome was when you'd go bombing, I could fire eggs, spray paint, and then duck down in that can, and it would be like do. I'd get back up. So like I never got hit with.
It was good self-defense.
I never got bombed. Yeah, it was like good. I was good.
I never went bombing.
No?
No, it was forbidden. No.
What?
My father would beat the shit out of me. It was not. It was forbidden.
You lack. My dad was like, man, if you're gonna do this, you put the needle in the end of the can.
But later, I would melt it.
Yeah, so that it would spray like across the room.
Now later on, I became the kid. After I stopped trick or treating, I would like stay guard at the house because, I mean, numerous times he never cared about the toilet paper because he'd just pick it up and throw it away.
Did he not hand out candy?
No, we did.
I was gonna say
because
that's a crime right there.
Oh, it is.
When you don't hand out candy,
to get fucking bombed.
Yes.
But back before we had aluminum siding, we had shingles.
Yeah.
And the one year, the one side ended up being where my parents' bedroom was a garage at the time. That side got fucking land-basted with eggs. To try to get egg off of fucking shingles was brutal.
Wooden shingles
or
whatever.
It was rough. I was never a bomber.
Yeah.
Never did it.
Never miss out on good times
either. But my favorite costume though that I ever was after the first Batman came out in like 88, I think it was 88, 89. Joker.
Oh yeah.
Jack Nicholson's Joker, yeah.
Yeah, I listen, you look back at them costumes, we had the shittiest costumes of the 80s. You had chapped lips by the end of the night because of that fucking mask and the vinyl thing. And if you one wrong move, you would split the fucking thing up the middle.
Yeah, that one we
I think I was Gizmo one year maybe.
We got creative that year. Like we went to the Goodwill or somewhere and got a suit jacket and did the white paint with the green.
Oh no, bro! Your best costume ever was Rerun.
Oh, Rerun in high school. That was a good one.
That was awesome.
That was a good one.
That was a really good one.
The one
you always dressed up in high school for Halloween.
Yeah,
you were that guy.
Yeah, I was.
We were at that table going.
I was one of the weirdos.
Everybody dresses up as an 11th grader.
They actually the one year the most fun I had. It was just Max one year because we were living at Grandpa's. I got him the Hulk Hogan costume with the built-in muscles.
Yeah.
The Fu Manchu. That was a cool costume. That was the year it snowed.
These fucking kids have no idea what costumes used to be compared to what they have now.
Right.
Like Boston's Ben Dash from the Incredibles. And like the muscles in it. Spider-Man.
Oh,
like,
awesome.
It looks like movie style.
Well, they're like, and what makes those costumes fun for those kids is then they can like character play
right
after Halloween.
Yeah.
Which was great
because
about
it, like they're lasting.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, like my kids have had some really cool costumes. There's some really good ones. But Boston's always very creative. Like, do you remember the year he was the guy on the shitter?
Yes.
Yeah, like he made that.
Yeah.
He made a porta-john, and it looked like a guy was carrying a box. And when you opened the door, Boston was sitting on the toilet. You know what I mean? So it was really cool.
Yeah.
But we worked on that for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You know, so he always had that. He's been Colonel Sanders one year. He had the bucket of chicken, and he was Colonel Sanders.
Yeah.
Just different things. Last year he went as Jesus.
Oh, God.
He had a light that went up over his head.
Funny. The one thing I always liked when the kids were in school was going to the school for the costume parades.
Yeah.
That was always fun.
Mount Marion always did pumpkin carving night, which was really cool. Everybody would sit kind of down. You'd have an hour, and at the end of the hour, you'd light up all the pumpkins.
That's cool.
And we'd get like 100 pumpkins every year. So
Wow.
it was really cool.
That is
It was
cool.
really cool. And people took pride in it.
Yeah.
That was like, I don't know if you were definitely hanging out with me when I made Summer the Scooby-Doo one.
Yes.
The whole
I do
front.
remember it. Yeah.
I did a Cars one for Lightning McQueen for Boston. Yeah. They're tough, man, but you enjoy them when you do it.
Right.
You know, and then we're at that age where like our kids don't do it anymore. So like we're relying on grandkids to start coming around so we can start being a pain in the. I'm gonna have a fucking sawzall for when my grandkids come or a Dremel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now I don't give out Halloween candy.
I love it though.
I don't only because of the neighborhood I'm in.
Well, yeah, I don't get them now.
I don't need to answer the door with a gun in one hand and fucking candy bar in the other.
And the pennies. Whack.
Handing out fucking no, bro. You hand out Narcan in my neighborhood.
Oh, that's terrible.
It's not good.
What's that saying about you need to upgrade your fucking living quarters
soon.
Yeah,
soon, hopefully.
All right, good episode, man.
Yeah, man, fun always.
As always, right?
As always. Anything else going on?
Nothing really going on right now.
We are in the time of the year where we like it because it's structured.
Yes, we're back into school, structured time. Everything's kind of laid out.
Yep.
And we've talked about this on this show numerous times. Life is plotted out for you. You never go too long without a holiday.
Correct.
You know what I mean? It's like bang, Halloween, bang this, bang that.
Yeah.
To get remotely political with shit that's going on, fuck Hamas. They need to be wiped off the planet.
100%.
And if you back them, you shouldn't be in office in this country. Yeah. Fuck you too.
Correct.
100%.
Agreed.
You're a fucking terrorist and you support them.
Yep. I agree.
That's all I got.
All right. Well, on that note, I'll be back next week with another episode getting into the holiday. Well, yeah.
We'll be right. The next one will be right near Halloween. So.
Yep. And then we'll be getting into the holiday season.
Yeah.
Which is just around the corner.
Sure is.
All right. You good?
I'm good.
I'm good too. For GMAC, this is Winnie. This has been the Outlaw Blitz podcast. And as always,